Welcome, Scorpio. This is Regina from Pacific Tarot, getting ready to do your full moon in Aquarius reading. The full moon in Aquarius is on Friday, I believe, or Saturday of this week. And Mercury continues to move retrograde throughout this period. It will be turning direct a couple of days after the full moon. However, it will be moving over its shadow period. In other words, the degrees it has already retrograded, it will be moving direct back again, which is wonderful because it extends this opportunity we have to really review, reflect on, make adjustments towards, consider more deeply decisions we're making and directions we're considering. For your overall energy, you have the Oracle of Discs. This is equivalent to the Page of Pentacles, and in that way describes a beautiful beginner's mind, the value of the quest for knowledge, something that is very natural to you, something that you have built your life, your creative practice upon, the expansion of knowledge, the greater understanding of possibilities in the world. Also contains the act of the nature of humility in order to be able to accept and learn from experiences outside your own. So this is a wonderful way in which we transform ourselves by gaining knowledge and then trying to apply that. We transform by applying spiritual energies, values, and principles to even the most mundane and humble experiences. So there is a lot that this card is telling me about where you're at right now. And it feels as though you're looking at your very foundation. Underneath the deck is the Chariot card. How beautiful. I'm still enjoying this new deck. The Chariot card is about this profound self-acceptance of who you are, your gifts and skills, and the wisdom to cordon off the distractions, to set boundaries up, to speak out for yourself, to not allow yourself to be encroached upon or intruded upon when you're very clear about the sacredness of the work that you are undertaking. Whatever that work is, it requires your whole devotion because this is work you love that comes out of your talents and gifts and out of who you actually are. And so in order to make a contribution to the world, to the community, you have to do the work. And this is really about the focus that you now have gained to complete something, to accomplish something overall. I've also pulled an oracle card from the Seed and Sickle deck, and I pulled the Basil card. So this reading has a very particular friend of mine in mind, someone who gave me basil seeds along with beautiful tomatoes from Italy. And you'll notice that the basil here it looks like a broken off goddess or god deity head, a sculptural head laying in this big garden terrain. I'm going to read the basil from the guidebook. You're due to set out on a journey, be it physical or spiritual, so be ready for a change in your life. In Italy, pots of basil are left on windowsills to indicate that guests are welcome, and in Tudor England, basil was given as a gift to ensure safety while traveling. Drawing this card suggests that you're inviting in a change of scenery. Be sensible about your decisions, and your feet will lead you safely where you need to go. And now I would like to remind you that this is a general reading. It is not going to resonate for all of you. I invite you to a meditation of your own energies. This is an opportunity for you to reflect and gain some insight into your own decisions, thoughts, or contemplated action. So this can be frustrating when it doesn't resonate for you, and I understand that. However, most of you are probably aware that if you check other placements, you may find the messages that you're looking for. So for the 10th house, your social identity, the way others see you, the Fool. I love this card so much, and it is not officially a Scorpio card, but I absolutely uh, describe this card, certainly in this moment, with your ruling planet Pluto, for a couple of reasons. One is that, as many of you know, Pluto has moved into Aquarius recently, as of about November of last year, and this is momentous. It only changes signs every 15 years. But in the sign of Aquarius, it's really bringing you out of possibly decades of some very deep underground work that you've done on your own attitudes, your own sense of restriction, trauma, feeling trapped, being triggered, and really dug deep to find your own inner resources. So I feel you're poised on the verge of making your gifts more available to the world. And that's the journey that you are on, the journey that is inviting in a change of scenery, inviting in more knowledge and opportunities to learn and grow. This augurs so much faith that you have in who you are and what you can do, and really is a part of this deep release of things that have weighed you down, so that you, like the Fool in many traditional decks, is flying off with basically a little purse on his stick, his bag of memories, or their bag of memories. So this is important because I feel like this process has actually unburdened you in significant ways and really put you onto a new level of authenticity. In the first house, the Hierophant reflects on your attitude, your perspective, the way you're seeing your life and the opportunities before you. The Hierophant is all about teaching. It's about learning and teaching. It's about helping others. I feel like either you are acting as a mentor for someone, or someone is providing mentorship to you. There's some bond. It can be an entire team of people. It can be a group. It can be a group of collaborators that are helping you to understand the steps in a process. And that is where this beautiful attitude of the Page of Pentacles is aiding you to not only share what you know and your considerable body of knowledge, but it's also helping you to open up to the ideas, the input of others who have experienced what you're questing for. And so this is almost like quite possibly you teaching a class or being a student in a class. I don't feel like you're just a student. I feel that you, if you are in a class and you aren't teaching, I feel like you're the TA or something like that, the research assistant. So there's something about this partnership, this mentorship, that is very intimate. And it does look like there's a reference here to the Godhead, or the sculptural head of what looks like a very stereotypical Greek god or goddess, whose broken off head is laying in this bed of basil. And for some of you, what you're learning about relates to the stories of deity. I feel that you are re-immersing yourself in this mythology, perhaps of your cultural traditions, the stories that have been told by your family, your culture, your community, and the stories that you are telling about yourself. That is being reshaped. You're gaining a new vision of new possibilities for yourself here. There is a sense here that you are producing something. This is usually along fairly conventional organizational lines. So this is why I think about a class or course as something fairly conventional in an educational structure. It can also be producing a book, producing a work of art, producing something tangible, producing a garden, orchestrating an urban gardening project, something like that. In the fourth house, the moon card. This is about your foundation, your home, your domestic environment. The moon shows you still very connected to that Plutonian underworld of your ruling planet. This is your ability to consistently draw from your past, from past behaviors, from past experiences, good and bad. Not to bifurcate your experiences so simplistically, but the idea is that you're not shying away from experiences that have been the source of many triggers in your life, particularly traumatic, shameful, harmful experiences that have left a very challenging mark on you. And you are comfortable in that realm of the mystery, the research needed to dig in, to go where it takes courage and a great deal of strength to face these aspects of ourselves, whether they have been populated by individuals that did things to us or against us, but this is about you understanding how these energies have been internalized so that they're not just easily cast off. So this gives more weight to the bag of memories that the Fool carries as you move on to this new liberatory journey that you're on. You haven't masked over or denied all of the complexity of those memories, the difficult ones as well as the uplifting ones. And in the house of significant others, we have the devil. Wow. So, all major arcana planets here underneath the deck. So, this is pretty momentous time in your life. The new moon is focused very much on your foundation, however you determine that to be. And in many ways, for you, Scorpio, your foundation is about the collective unconscious, how that connects to your subconscious energies. And this is the fuel, with which you are producing, moving forward, motivated to understand these stories better, open up to new stories and new possibilities, and then share that information with others so that others are aware of the variety of tools available, the variety of stories that have always existed. With the devil here, it feels as though you're really looking at your own internalized toxicity, whatever that means to you. This can be an abusive partner. This can be a partner that you've abused. This can be a job, a health regime, a group of friends that you really understand are not resonating with your higher vibration. And this higher vibration is something that you are experiencing now that is reshaping the way you understand your contribution in the world. So this can be anything that has to do with your physical and material integrity. Are you true to your word? Are you authentic to your beliefs? And the ways in which you're not, you are actively, it appears, like rooting out. Again, I want to ask if you're resonating with this reading so far that you like this video and subscribe to my channel, Pacific Tarot. It's important to me that my videos get out to more people, and I deeply appreciate all the support that you, my foundational circle and community, give to me. I feel that on a regular basis, and it means everything to me. So thank you for that in advance. We're going to start with the Hierophant, clarifying the first house with the Two of Pentacles in the second house and the Four of Cups in the third house. I see you really, really addressing the things that you don't like, the things that don't make you comfortable. The habits of moving towards hard things or things that are a struggle, or undermining the impact of things that are dismissive of you, that don't see you, and really understanding how that may be an ongoing symptom of some deep trauma that you've experienced that makes you always choose something that is not entirely available to you. This feels like it can have to do with a partnership, a friendship, some kind of um, significant relationship, but it can also impact ways in which you receive money, or you make yourself comfortable, or you secure your foundation, find safety in your own environment. And I do believe that this is about the struggle that you have to choose differently from how you've chosen in the past. And it doesn't mean that most of your life you have been choosing the wrong things. It more is about an evolution in your awareness of the impact of relationships and opportunities that don't really support you. And yet, your acceptance of those as though you can win the approval of someone or something, some environment. And now you are looking very, you are considering an offer to you with all of that in mind. Is this something that I've done before and not been happy with the results? Am I disregarding all the love that I have in my life, all the support that exists, on the gamble that this new thing that appears out of nowhere or is coming from my past is going to be the thing I'm looking for? And this is so much about accepting that you have all you need to gain what you want. So pursuing your desires, relying on someone else to be that or provide that, is something that you're moving away from. And you are recognizing your discomfort earlier on. And this is something I've observed in my own life. It's not that I'm all blissed out despite some spiritual transformation, but I catch myself sooner when I wake up with anxiety, when I begin to feel uncomfortable with things that I'm telling myself I should want. Then I am able to pull back and really spend that time to evaluate, why is something making me feel a way that's uncomfortable, that doesn't feel good, that's triggering something that I've experienced negatively perhaps. And really just taking that time to meditate and reflect on the offers that are coming towards you, and why you have done in the past what you've done, and ways of allowing yourself to shift, to get comfortable with something that's new, even if it's better. We are creatures of habit. The moon in the fourth house is clarified by the Seven of Swords in the fifth house and the Emperor in the sixth house. The Seven of Swords is really continuing this theme of picking your battles. I think that's something that the Basil card said, or maybe not. But I do feel like there's an energy here of you win some, you lose some, and every resistance is not worth engaging in. Every criticism is not worthy of a response. And I do feel like that's an area of hypersensitivity for you based on your experiences in the past. And so there's a way in which you've internalized some of those not so kind things and are struggling to clear a space where you invite and accept all of the abundance in your life. Because I feel like there is a lot of abundance in your life. But there is the struggle of the old pulling on you, right? This is the way the subconscious works. This is the way humans work. We're comfortable with things that haven't worked if they've never worked before. Moving towards something that's better isn't automatic. It's not just like you suddenly get it. Your whole body has to cooperate with you to move towards something that feels unfamiliar, even if that unfamiliar is good. So I feel like that this is emphasizing a struggle for you of really recognizing that those that resist you, that criticize you, that is their problem. You can't take on all of the feedback that you get all of the time, even if some of it is intended to be constructive. You have to take on what you can and move forward and find the support and the appreciation elsewhere. And I feel you have a lot of that. I feel like you have a support group through your work, through a project, through an effort, that you have a circle of loving friends from whom you can share experiences and learn with one another. And that's what you're being asked to lean on during these times of self-doubt. The Emperor in the sixth house is one of your cards, even though it's associated with Aries. There's no way this level of maturity to me resonates for Aries. Because the Emperor is the boss, I suppose that makes sense. But this is not Martian energy to me. This is the energy of sustained, strategic, thoughtful, moving forward. This is taking on the responsibility of a project or a community on their behalf and making moves that you have the experience to know will be successful and will benefit most of the people within your charge. On a smaller scale, this is about owning your own powers, owning your own life. Understanding your reality is the result of what you make it, and that you don't try to control things that you can't. It doesn't mean that you neglect them, you dismiss them, you ignore them. It means that you put your energy into responding responsibly in a way that is going to move your projects, your efforts forward and benefit the most people. That's the responsibility and the burden of leadership. And that's something you take extremely seriously. In fact, it feels like you are one of the facilitators of a group that you belong to, perhaps of a project. You may be the lead on a project, and you take that seriously. By encouraging each member in the group to work from a place of their strengths, their comfort, their skill set. Not asking people to do things that don't fit them, but allowing the whole team to come together and participate in solving a problem. But they do that through your wise guidance. The Devil in the seventh house is clarified by The Devil in the 8th house. My. And the Queen of Wands in the 9th house. This feels like a very specific person in your life. Someone who has exerted a lot of control over you, perhaps in the past, in some experience or some connection that you have recently reconnected with, is bringing this forward. This is also something that you have worked really hard to expel from your life, being aware of its control over you, but you haven't quite been able to stand up to it in a way that doesn't evoke more resistance or some kind of backlash. So I feel like if this is an individual, I feel like this individual has a lot to offer, has achieved a lot, has some legitimate authority in the world. However, your relationship to that authority feels oppressive. And your need to break free, I feel you are standing up for yourself. You are confident that you are who you are, perhaps not so comfortably in the setting, but you have the power, the internal confidence and clarity about what you're doing to resist this, to go up, stand up to it. And I'm not sure why I'm feeling like this is about something you have to stand up to. You have to denounce. You have to separate yourself from. And it may come in the form of a tempting offer, something you've always wanted, something that is legitimate. But you're careful to explicate the terms of this offer, understanding it in the first place, and then receiving it on your terms. And that's something you are more than capable of negotiating. In the 10th house, the Fool is clarified by the 9 of Swords in the 11th house, and they're so hard to grab, the Empress in the 12th house. Yes. It's so interesting because there is also an Emperor and an Empress here, which always can indicate, not always, a very blessed or divine, a powerful partnership. And my first line of defense is always to think that this represents aspects of yourself that are deeply aligned. This is divine feminine, divine masculine, deeply aligned within you. And when those things are aligned within you, they not only dispel this history of suffering and pain that you've experienced, and you've learned to manage it, to step outside of the beliefs and the ideas, the structures that empower that suffering. But it also makes you a powerful an empowered person who is able to forge and enjoy equitable relationships, relationships that assume the great work, which is your purpose here, and understands that joining forces only empowers you to do that work more efficiently and more productively. So this is a beautiful augur of some profound growth coming through some incredibly daunting resistance. And it's not resistance that you have brushed aside or been foolish enough to feel that it's over. You understand the effects of this you're living with the effects of this. I'm going to finish up this reading, Scorpio, with a Soul's Journey card, and I've pulled the Imagination. I haven't gotten this one in a while. I embrace and nourish the creative aspect of my mind. And I do feel that this is the thread taking you from the beginner's mind to the empowered Empress. If you've enjoyed this content, there's more content here. I thank you for your likes and subscribes. And until next time, Scorpio, namaste.